What is up, Smashers? It is, what do we got? Got 4:06 on a Tuesday. We're going to be talking about neck pain primarily. And you know what, honestly? Functional shoulders. That clanging is all this. By the way, here we go. We got Joey D right here. You know why? Because Joey D is an awesome guy. Good friend of mine, Joe DeFranco. So listen, here's the deal. You know what? I don't want to do it this way. I'll go this way. It's easier for you to see me. So here's the deal. Talking about your neck and how it works, we can sit there and analyze neck rotation, lateral deviation, extension, flexion, all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy. I'm going to boil it down to its essence, and that is that your traps are probably not functioning the way they're supposed to. So we look at things like lower traps, middle fibers, upper traps. Right there, upper traps. That's the issue that you want to address because they come all the way up. Part of them come off the clavicle, they come off that acromion, that AC area, right? They envelop the entire scapula, and they come all the way up behind the neck into the base of the skull, into that nuchal line. So the issue arises where you lose function of how the scapula works, and you're using your muscles incorrectly. So I know when we were, growing up and when we went through PT, or we went through PE in school, and all the PTs out there, all the chiros out there, all the orthos out there right now are gonna freak out because I'm about ready to tell them something that you don't wanna hear, but it's the truth, and that is stop stretching things. I'm not saying stop stretching things all the time, but when things are super tight and they've been tight for a really long time, so if you've been stretching for a really long time, you always have tight traps, you always have a tight neck, you always have a tight chest, you always have tight hamstrings. There's a lot of things that come into play. If they've never gotten loose, it's because it's a mechanical problem and a movement-based problem, not an extensibility problem. And that's where it comes into play, where people are throwing bands around themselves and they're doing these magical yoga movements with bands. Listen, I use bands too, but I'm careful with when I use them, and I actually understand human anatomy. So it's important to really follow that because people are using them the wrong way. They're smashing tissue the wrong way, and they think because they're an athlete, they know everything about how the body moves, and that's not true at all. That is completely incorrect. So I'm gonna just step up and say it because everybody else wants to say it that's actually doing what I do, and the people that are doing it correctly, I love you. The people that think they're doing it right and they're just blasting stuff out there, they're actually fucking shit up, so they need to stop. So just stop and look at what you're doing first. So that was my little rant for a second. So when we're looking at the upper traps, the upper fibers, they don't do elevation or the inverse of depression. They don't do any elevation. They do upward rotation to allow the arms to go overhead. And there are two ways that are really, really effective to help you with number one, neck pain. Number two, actually cranking up some serious growth and functionality with those upper traps. And I'm going to show you how to do both. So the first thing I will show you is you just want to get everything primed. So I tell everybody, put their hands on their chest, and I just want you to loosen up this to get blood flow, not to stretch. And you're just going to turn as far as you can. You're going to feel this in the center and the upper area of your back, and then you're going to come to neutral, and then you're going to do the same thing towards the other side, and you're going to hold. And it's not like, I don't want you cranking the shoulders off to one side, really just the head, and then back to neutral. So it's so simple. It's so important. So do this before you're about to do the next two drills. So hands on your chest, because what this does, if you look, when I do this, your shoulders can fold forward. This is hard to do. Your chest winds up coming back. So I tell you to put your hands here, right? I'm not covering Joe AD. Don't worry, Joe. I got you. So hands like this. You're going to turn and hold. You're going to come back to neutral. Turn and hold. Come back to neutral. That's just getting the muscle functioning the way it's supposed to. Now I'm going to show you a really sick drill that's really effective. So what we do is we take, giving Rogue a free shout out, which I probably shouldn't be doing. They make enough money. So what we do is we take a band. So this is a 1.5 inch band right here. So it's tied to the bottom of the rig. I'm going to show you what we do is we loop our wrist in here. We load up so you can see it's coming down at an angle. So I'm going to stand nice and upright. I don't want to be up, it's not up and down. We want to incorporate some rotation. So the band is pulling down at an angle at about 15, 20 degrees. I'm going to stand up real tall, hand on your chest if you want to force those shoulders to open, and then just squeeze and back down. Now you can do these bilaterally. I like doing these unilaterally because it forces you to engage full contraction of that upper trap instead of cheating the movement, wobbling back and forth. That's really important. So I would do these unilaterally, just that simple. So band is down at the bottom, anchored to the bottom of the rig. Use a heavy band, traps are stronger than you think. Wrapped around the wrist, hand on your chest, open up the shoulders, and then This is just an angled high shrug, and you're gonna do 3 sets, ready for this, of 20. So do each side 3 sets of 20. Traps respond to a higher volume than any other muscle group. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you're just gonna get a barbell. We'll just pull this off the rig or off the wall. We're gonna take a barbell. I want you to go a little wide. So I'm going a little wider than normal, and you can see this. I'm just gonna push directly overhead. Now I'm already automatically in an active shoulder position. I'm gonna drop and press up. Drop and press up. So I'm using the same upper trap fibers that I was using, I'll come this way, in the band pull. So I take the bar, right? And I'm gonna bring it all the way overhead, and I'm gonna drop down with the shoulders, and I'm gonna press straight up, keeping the arms, elbows locked out. You don't need a lot of weight for this. 3 sets of 20. Try and have a conversation while you're doing it. And you're working on that upward rotation of the trap. I promise this, your neck will feel better. It's just that simple. Hey, listen, I'm Trav, SmashweRx, hanging out in the home garage today. I will check you guys out tomorrow. Love you guys. Thanks for following me. Appreciate you.